I did not want, I was adamant, in fact, about not turning this into the fun time whack at the Ken Paxton
well, you haven't done that,
variety
so
hour.
I've noticed that.
But I do feel obligated, since your campaign in part is based on disqualifying your opponent, I do feel obligated to ask you why you believe he is not fit to serve.
Sure.
The fact is, he's paid his fine, acknowledged that he had issues with the State Securities Board. He's refiled his personal financial disclosure forms where information was left out. I think he's described that as an administrative error or some such. Do you not have forgiveness in your heart, Mr. Houston? What exactly has he done that disqualifies him to be Attorney General?
Well, I mean, obviously you have forgiveness in your heart, but I'm not talking about that. I think you add everything together. Nobody's perfect. You know, everybody that runs for office, nobody's perfect. But look, here's my problem with Ken Paxton. And it's the same thing that Dan Branch said, pretty much what Barry Smitherman said. It's uniform. You know, you had a history of ethical violations starting back, and there was an article in the Texas Tribune. I read that article about WatchGuard video, you know, where it's self-dealing with his own companies. Then he doesn't disclose all these nonprofits. You have an issue where he, on numerous occasions, solicits clients for an investment advisor, takes a fee, doesn't tell the clients he's taking the fee. It's not even a written agreement that he gets the fee. We know that that's a felony because he voted while he was on the legislature to make that a felony, those particular acts. We know that he didn't disclose to the Texas Ethics Commission that he was getting these fees. I read that in the Texas Tribune. You know, again, and does it disqualify him? If he is elected and he is convicted of a felony, he is disqualified. But does it make, but I'm not talking about that, does it make me a better candidate who,
but he's only, let me stop for a second. He's only disqualified if he's convicted as a felony. You understand if he's disbarred.
He's not, that's an
well, you know, God bless the state of Texas,
right.
where you don't have to be an attorney to be Attorney General, right? So not being a lawyer would not be itself an issue, correct?
Yeah, that's interesting, yeah.
Right, yeah. You know,
but that goes way back.
But you cite Mr. Branch and Mr. Smitherman raising those issues. Do you think Mr. Branch and Mr. Smitherman are voting for you? They're going to vote for Mr. Paxton.
I don't know what they're going to vote for, who they're going to vote for. You know, there was an article the other day where some Republicans are saying they're not going to vote at all. I don't know what they're going to do, but it doesn't matter what they're going to do. What matters to the voters should be this. He did violate the securities laws. He won't talk about it. He won't answer it. He won't debate me. He won't come here and talk about it with you. You know, he won't defend himself. And what I've always said, more important than the Houston Chronicle said, it's not the crime, it's the cover-up the other day in their endorsement of me. You know, more important really, if you look at this race and how he's run this race, he won't answer the questions. If he won't defend himself, really, what kind of Attorney General do you think he is? Either number one, he gets indicted and he's disqualified because he's admitted basically violating a felony, or number two, he doesn't get indicted. And here you got the Attorney General who's admitted basically to a felony and nothing happens to him because he's a public official. You know, heads we lose, tails we lose. I think that's not the type of person who should be enforcing our laws of the state, doing these important talk about it. It's hard. It's a hard deal. But if he won't talk about it, I think particularly that's very important. He's not going to be the transparent Attorney General we need. That's my pitch on it, and I think it's fair to bring up. I think it's fair to talk about, and then now we can talk about me some more.
All right, well.